Stefon Diggs was supposed to be the NFL's comeback story, a $69 million contract, a 1,000-yard season, and a chance to silence critics after a devastating ACL tear. But just days before his first Super Bowl, he faces felony strangulation charges, multiple civil lawsuits, and a pattern of violent allegations. How did a Pro Bowl wide receiver's redemption season turn into a legal firestorm that could cost him everything, possibly within a single week? March 2025 brought a bold gamble to Foxborough. The New England Patriots front office, facing a roster in need of star power, signed Stefon Diggs to a 3-year, $69 million contract with $26 million guaranteed, despite the shadow of a major injury. Just 5 months earlier, he had been carted off the field in Houston, his left knee shredded by a torn ACL in Week 8. For most veterans, an injury like that at age 31 can mean the end. For a decade, Diggs had built his reputation on sharp roots and toughness, but critics saw a receiver in decline, bouncing from Minnesota to Buffalo to Houston, now facing a long rehab and an uncertain future. The Patriots' medical staff mapped out an aggressive recovery plan. Diggs underwent surgery in late October 2024, then disappeared into a world of rehab, pre-dawn strength sessions, underwater treadmill runs, and hours of mobility drills. By March 2025, he was cleared for light football activity, but the real test came in July, when he reported to training camp in full pads. Every movement was measured, every sprint scrutinized. The team's investment depended on a body that could hold up to the pounding of a full NFL season. Diggs pushed through setbacks, soreness, swelling, and doubts that crept in during quiet moments. The stakes were enormous. $69 million on the line, a franchise banking on his return, and his own legacy hanging in the balance. The Patriots had wagered not just money, but their hopes for a new era on a receiver fighting against time and injury. The question was not just whether Diggs could play again, but whether he could become the player New England desperately needed. Stefon Diggs didn't just return, he rewrote the script. By Week 15, he torched the Jets for 6 catches and 101 yards, silencing questions about his speed and separation. Over 17 games, Diggs racked up 85 receptions for 1,013 yards and 4 touchdowns, becoming the first Patriots receiver to cross the 1,000-yard mark since Julian Edelman in 2019. Every week, his connection with rookie quarterback Drake May grew sharper, with Diggs hauling in clutch third downs and red zone grabs that kept New England's playoff hopes alive. Analysts who once called him washed now debated his place among the league's elite. The Patriots' offense, stagnant in recent years, found new rhythm with Diggs as its engine. His route running drew double teams and opened space for younger receivers, while his yards after catch ranked among the top in the AFC East. By season's end, Diggs earned his 4th Pro Bowl selection, a feat that seemed impossible just months earlier on a surgeon's table. Inside the locker room, teammates pointed to Diggs' work ethic and leadership. On the field, he delivered highlight grabs and sideline toe taps, turning Gillette Stadium crowds electric. The narrative had flipped from a 31-year-old coming off a devastating knee injury to a comeback story fueling a franchise revival. The numbers told one story, but the energy around Diggs told another. New England had found its star, and the league had to take notice. Memorial Day weekend brought a different kind of attention. A video spread across social media showing Stefon Diggs aboard a boat, surrounded by friends and Cardi B. In the clip, Diggs holds a clear baggie filled with a pink substance, and he tells the group to take that and do not take all of it, then go have some fun and come back and see me. The internet lit up with speculation about what was inside the bag, and sports talk radio dissected every frame. When asked about the video, Diggs faced the press with a practiced calm. He said he had been in this league 10 years, that reporters could format the question many different ways, but he was going to answer it the same way. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel addressed the controversy, saying the team wants to make great decisions on and off the field. The NFL refused to comment, and no discipline followed. but the video left a mark, raising questions about Diggs' judgment away from the stadium. Legal trouble between Stefon Diggs and Mia Jones, known publicly as Mulan Hernandez, exploded into court filings during the 2025 offseason. In February 2025, Diggs filed suit in Harris County, Texas, accusing Jones and her friend Brianna Mack of causing over $130,000 in property damage. The complaint listed a destroyed luxury wristwatch, a smashed gaming system, and a broken cell phone. 2 months later, Jones filed a countersuit alleging that Diggs punched her in the back of the head with a closed fist during a June 2024 argument. She said Diggs pressured her to sign a non-disclosure agreement almost immediately after the alleged assault. Both sides denied the opposing claims, and the dueling lawsuits remained active in Texas courts, each side accusing the other of violence and deception. August 2025 brought fresh controversy when clothing designer Christopher Blake Griffith posted on Instagram accusing Stefon Diggs of drugging him and committing sexual battery after a charity basketball event in the Washington, D.C. area. Griffith said Diggs gave him chocolate laced with an intoxicant, then assaulted him in a Porsche before bringing him inside his Maryland home. 1 week later, Griffith reported being attacked in the elevator of his Los Angeles apartment building by Darez Diggs, Stefon's younger brother, and 2 other men. Medical records listed fractures to Griffith's left leg and ankle, a torn meniscus, and a traumatic brain injury. Darez Diggs pleaded no contest to felony grand theft and received 2 years probation. In October 2025, Stefon Diggs filed a defamation lawsuit, calling Griffith a would-be social media influencer who fabricated claims for attention. Cardi B publicly defended Diggs, insisting Griffith was lying to cover up theft. Mila Adams moved into Stefon Diggs' Dedham home in July, hired as his live-in chef for the NFL season. She was paid monthly, but by December, she said Diggs owed her for weeks of work. On the night of December 2nd, Adams said Diggs entered her unlocked bedroom to discuss the dispute. According to the police report, an argument escalated, and Adams described being slapped across the face, then choked with the crook of Diggs' elbow until she struggled to breathe. She told officers she saw redness on her upper chest, though no photos were taken. Adams said Diggs threw her onto the bed, calling her a liar when she insisted she had not been paid. She left the house that night, returning a week later to collect her things. When Diggs' assistant demanded she sign a non-disclosure agreement to receive her wages, Adams refused and reported the incident to police on December 16th. On December 30th, 2025, prosecutors in Norfolk County filed formal charges against Stefon Diggs. He was charged with felony strangulation or suffocation and with misdemeanor assault and battery. Under Massachusetts law, a conviction on the felony count carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in state prison. The official complaint lays out the chef's account and the timeline of her report, but Diggs' legal team moved quickly to shape the narrative. His attorney, David Meyer, issued a public statement categorically denying any wrongdoing, calling the allegations unsubstantiated, uncorroborated, and the product of a financial dispute. Meyer also filed a motion to impound the police report, seeking to keep sensitive details sealed from public view. The Patriots, aware of the legal jeopardy, released a brief statement of support for Diggs as the court docket set an arraignment date just weeks before the AFC Championship. The stakes for Diggs, both legal and professional, had never been higher. Stefon Diggs remained on the field as the Patriots pushed through the postseason, never placed on the NFL Commissioner's exempt list, despite the felony charge hanging over him. In 3 playoff games, he tallied 11 catches for 73 yards and 1 touchdown, including 5 short receptions during a blizzard-soaked AFC Championship win. The calendar offered no relief. Super Bowl 60 is set for February 8, 2026, with his arraignment scheduled 5 days later. Legal experts pointed to a pattern. Each accuser, from the personal chef to former partners, described pressure to sign non-disclosure agreements before payment or in exchange for silence. League policy gives the NFL the authority to suspend players regardless of criminal verdicts, a power the league used when Ezekiel Elliott received a 6-game suspension. Diggs, with over $90 million in career earnings, now face the possibility of winning a championship ring and facing a prison sentence in the same week. Today, a $69 million contract and a Super Bowl run collide with felony charges and civil lawsuits. In pro sports, allegations can upend careers overnight, regardless of guilt or innocence. As courts and leagues decide Diggs' fate, the line between triumph and downfall has never felt thinner.